Luckily, I located Deputy Bob Ollinger's mean-ass shotgun.
This week I've been mostly playing Call of Juarez Gunslinger, which is a first-person Wild West shooter by Techland, who are mostly known for their zombie parkour game Dying Light. You follow the adventures of Silas Greaves, who is a bounty hunter, going mostly from famous gunfight to gunfight in the Wild West. The gunplay is reasonably solid, it's quite tight. Various skill points allows you to upgrade your abilities and get different upgraded weapons. At the beginning of each map, though, you seem to not have your upgraded weapons and have to find them, which was a very, very strange idea, really, why I couldn't just have them each time. The game looks very stylish, that does help. The cell shading is very well done, and it makes the game stand out against a lot of other shooters at the time. Did find the game quite hard, though. It uses the health regeneration system of not being hit for long enough will start to regen your health, but it meant I was simply suckling upon the textures of rocks for quite a bit of the game instead of actually engaging in gunfights, which isn't as fun as you'd hope. The game asked me twice to upgrade the difficulty for some unknown reason. There is a slowdown time mechanic which builds up as you do well. There is a bullet dodge mechanic which essentially allows you to cheat death once every so often. Big signs saying how you've killed your enemy and the points and stuff. It's quite good, it fits the light-hearted nature to it. It doesn't take itself too seriously, which is good. There is a dueling system, you have to duel the occasional boss at the end of levels. It's very complicated. It's on the screen now and I've not a clue what's going on. I apparently won this duel and I don't know how. So, it could be better. All in all, though, I'd say it is a better than average shooter. I think it's a pretty solid game, all in all. But there is one thing that makes this game stand out over almost any other game. I can't think of a game that does this quite so well. And that is how Silas tells the story. He is sat in a bar, a saloon even, explaining his story to some people, and that's how it's all portrayed to you. Silas will always be the voice of the people in the stories. He won't put an accent on or anything, but he is telling you what they said to him. Occasionally I have interjections from the other characters who don't believe him or recall events differently if they were there or they read about it. And then this affects the game world. I'll show you this clip.
I had a few ideas on how to get into that mine, but once I made my decision, I knew there was no turning back. So my first thought was to enter the nearest mine portal. I saw an entrance. Made sense. It was the quickest way in, but that also made it more dangerous. I freely admit that my plan of attack was not just smart, but clearly insane. Good thing that I abandoned that ridiculous plan before I even tried it. Instead, I spotted a ladder, a way into the mine from the opposite side.
And the first time I saw that blew me away. How it's changing the world around me, how it's adapting and simulating what he's saying. He's an unreliable narrator and telling these tall tales. There's a few times where characters will disappear because people's just making them up. there weren't any Native Americans. I wanted to see if you were paying attention. It allows crevices to open up in mountains to go through when he says, I then found this passageway. It's a lovely way to show these things. Because I've no idea how much of this is real, the actual story or not. He did, but it does mean you're always guessing what's going to happen next. There's a nice flow to it. The back and forth between him and the other characters are interesting. I would say for this alone, I would recommend the game as a wonderful example of how games can tell a story in a completely unique way. Anyway, that's it. Have a lovely day.
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell. The maple trees were in full color, red as blood.